don't you guys get on either side of Bob there?
Hey, John. Okay, you good? Need white balance? Full service U.S. Senator? Okay, all right. Let me start off by thanking my colleague, Senator Booker, who did just an extraordinary job today at the Senate Judiciary Committee in meeting our joint pledge to Judge Salas and her family that we would make sure that Daniel's life was not in vain. And I also want to thank Senator Graham, Senator Kennedy, who are co-sponsors of the legislation, for their bipartisan support. The fact that the bill passed out of the committee without a single no vote, unanimously, and I think those of you who are observers of what goes on here day in and day out understand that even the most desirable legislation rarely receives such a vote, is a testament to the importance of what we're trying to do here. So to Daniel's parents, Judge Salas, to her dear husband, thank you for your personal fortitude and for your courage to speak about a incredibly tragic event and trying to turn that tragedy into something positive so nobody ever faces it again in our judiciary. We can't, at the end of the day, have separate co-equal branches of government if one of those branches can be under constant assault. If the fear of a judge who has to cast impartial decisions is even slightly tainted by the risk that they face to their lives or their family's life, no judge should be put in that position, and no one should ever have to face the loss that Judge Salas faced at the end of the day. That's why we believe this judicial security bill, which has been drafted through several iterations working together with the Administrative Office of the Courts, with the U.S. Marshal's Office, hits the right spot. We want to take today's success and now seek to move it through the Senate. We hope that our colleagues will join with us in making sure that that independent branch of government can have the security that it deserves in order to make the impartial decisions that are the hallmark of our nation. And we look forward to keeping this promise that we made to Judge Salas at the end of the day, to make sure that her son's life was not lost in vain and that no other federal court judge will have to face such a future themselves. With that, my extraordinary colleague who just did such a fantastic job, and all of his time on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee paid off in the Judiciary Committee today with all of his diplomacy as he dealt with his colleague, Senator Booker.
Thank you very much. I want to first just say Senator Menendez and I work together in a partnership on so many issues. But when this horrible tragedy happened to Judge Salas and her family, when Bob and I talked, it was clear to Bob Menendez this was personal. He is already a leader in the Senate, but on this bill, please know that his force of will, his determination to fulfill a promise that was made to the judge animated this in every step of the way. And as always, I'm grateful for New Jersey to making me the most fortunate junior senator in the Senate to have a senior senator like Bob Menendez. Secondly, I just want to say to this extraordinary family to my left, tragedies unfortunately happen. We saw one in Oxford, Michigan recently. A dear friend of mine just had her mother murdered. These are awful things that are happening in our country. But what is so unique about this incredible couple is that amidst their tragedy, amidst their pain and their grief, they were determined that this would not happen again. They turned their pain into a driving purpose, and I'm just so grateful. We would not be standing here today with a bill unanimously through committee if it wasn't for the incredible, extraordinary leadership of a New Jersey family that now, through their work, we hope will ultimately help to save lives all across this country. Today is a good day. Today is a day where government has worked. Today has been a bipartisan day. And today is a day in America that we stand up and say that those who carry out the highest calling of this land, justice, 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 they should not be victims of terror and terroristic acts. And so I'm grateful for today. We still have work to do to get this done on the floor, but I'm very happy now to invite to the microphone really the person who inspired through her courage and her will the accomplishment that we have today.
Thank you so much, Senators. I first want to start by thanking our home state Senators Menendez and Booker. But I think without them, honestly, I don't know if we'd be here today. But I need to also thank the co-sponsors of the bill, Senators Feinstein, Senators Graham and Kennedy. But today we have new senators that are willing to co-sponsor, and it's bipartisan, and we're working together. And today Mark and I saw our Senate Judiciary Committee come together in agreement on the need for this bill, the need to protect our judiciary, the need to protect our democracy. And so I stand here today as a proud citizen of this country. I stand here today as a proud mother, mama to Danny. And I know I say on behalf of Daniel that today is a good day. Much work remains to be done. I know these gentlemen will continue along with their colleagues on both sides of the aisle to make sure that we can try to do everything within our power to avoid a tragedy like this happening again to some poor, unsuspecting judge or his or her family. But I say today, thank you, Senators. Thank you, Senators. From the bottom of our hearts, we say thank you to all our members of the Senate Judiciary Committee, and we thank the Senators in advance for working together. We thank Congress in advance for working together to make sure this never happens again. Thank you so much.
And Mark, we're thrilled to see you well, as I'm sure those who know the story. Mark was also had injuries as a result of the shooter, and so we're so thrilled that you're standing here with us today. Senator Booker and I are happy to answer a question or two on topic if you have it. Yeah.
Two quick questions. One, what's the chance of getting it passed? I know last time Rand Paul stood in the way of it. And second, I know the judge had been talking to senators. How important was that in terms of getting the support you got today, the unanimous, or even Cruz and Hawley and people like that, and Cotton signed up and voted yes?
Yeah. Well, I'll let Cory join in the answer. Let me just say, first of all, no matter how persuasive Senator Booker and I are, no one is more powerful or persuasive than
than Judge Salas. So only when you can take tragedy and turn it into a powerful argument for trying to prevent this from happening to any other judge or any other family, that's the most powerful argument. And Judge Salas and Mark have been extraordinary in their opening up about their personal tragedy in a way that's just, beyond remarkable and incredibly powerful. So I really salute them in that regard. As it relates to getting this bill on the floor, look, we're going to work to find every moving vehicle that is possible. And, with reference to those colleagues who want to expand, it's important to know nobody suggests that judges shouldn't have the protection. That's not an argument here, so let's not lose sight of that. The question is whether that protection should be expanded, right? And so all I would say is, and we'll have conversations with our colleagues because, this has been bipartisan. We want it to be bipartisan. We want the judiciary protected by all sides at the end of the day. But, I would say that if I am threatened, and I have been in the past, the reality is I go to the Capitol Police and I turn that threat to them, and they decide, whether the nature of the threat and what to do with that threat. And if it's necessary, they give me protection as a member of Congress. So there is a venue, an avenue for protection for members of Congress when, in fact, they face a serious risk. So, but we'll continue to have those conversations and try to maximize the support, and I look forward to being that along with my colleague, Senator Booker. Is that it?
Yes.
Any other questions?
Would you mind telling us in Espanol a little bit about today and what the next steps are here moving forward for our television?
Sure, and maybe the judge can say last time I checked, she was proficient. But, bueno, estamos aquí con el senador Booker, que hizo un trabajo enormemente poderoso en el Comité Judicial del Senado para convencer a nuestros colegas en una forma bipartidaria y unánime de apoyar esta ley de seguridad nombrada en el nombre de el hijo de la juez Salas, de Daniel Anderl, para crear seguridad para nuestros jueces. Si un juez va a decidir en los casos con justicia y no van a tener temor de que su decisión va a venir al costo de su vida o la vida de su familia, tenemos que asegurar que esa protección existe. Eso es lo que estamos tratando de lograr hoy. Estoy contentísimo que los esfuerzos que hemos llevado y el compromiso que hicimos con la juez actualmente llevó un paso enorme hoy en el Senado, en el Comité Judicial, en una forma bipartidaria, unánime. Yo creo que las personas que ven lo que está pasando en el Congreso estos días entienden que cosas difíciles no se consigue ese tipo de unanimidad. Es de suma importancia, pero es de suma importancia asegurar que ninguna otra familia actualmente se encuentra en la misma tragedia que se encontró la juez Salas y su esposo Mark. Y con eso no me invita a la jueza para decir algo en español.
Bueno, estoy bien agradecida a los senadores Menendez y Booker y también Congresswoman Cheryl, que está luchando para cambiar la ley para ayudar a los jueces. Hay una cosa que tengo que decir, que hoy Danny estaba con nosotros. Danny estaba con nosotros en ese cuarto habiendo, y para Mark y yo tenemos que decir que hay mucho trabajo que hacer todavía para esta propuesta de ley, pero yo estoy bien, vamos a decir, contenta con hoy, y voy a seguir orando y pidiendo que los miembros de Congress trabajan juntos en este momento tan tenemos que hacerlo juntos, no aparte, juntos, para asegurarnos que los jueces, pero también la Constitución y el Estados Unidos se queda unido y se queda, vamos a decir, fuerte.
Y el senador Booker habla español muy bien también.
Sí.
Vamos a ver.
Gracias, amiga. Este es un día de éxito. Tenemos una situación ahora cuando el gobierno trabaja por justicia. Pero no es éxito finalmente. Necesitamos continuar el trabajo. Desde tenemos una ley en frente del presidente. So ahora tengo muchos, ¿cómo se dice? Momentum. Momento.
Sí, movimiento.
Movimiento. Gracias, amigo, mi maestro y mi amigo. Pero ahora tengo mucha confianza y fe. Vamos a tener una victoria finalmente por las familias, por nuestro tratado, por los Estados Unidos.
Judge Salas, would you mind just telling us in English, what you and your family are going to be doing, to try to get this over the finish line, as we pass this hurdle today?
I am mindful that there are limits to what judicial officers can do. But I can tell you that what I will never stop doing is telling Daniel's story. Yes. I will never stop telling our story. I will never stop speaking of the tragedy that really we suffered through now 17 months. On December 19th. It will be 17 months. So what I will do is I will continue to shine a light on it. I will continue to do my best and my part to make sure we never forget Daniel, that we never forget the dangers that really await us if we do not begin to do this common sense step, which is protecting our personal information so people can't use it to target us and literally shoot us down in our homes. So I will promise this. I will continue to work collaboratively with the Administrative Office of the Courts, which has done a phenomenal job as well. I will continue to help our home state senators and all the senators to see this through in whatever capacity I can do it. And finally, I want to say that I will continue to urge all members of Congress, Republican, Democrats, independents alike. I ask them all to think about the need for this bill now, the need to have this bill passed as soon as possible. Every day we wait is a day that perhaps another tragedy will befall another family. So I stay up at night worried about that. And so I ask that we do this as quickly as we can, that we compromise, and of course, in the end, that we remember that the Constitution and our democracy is at stake.
Thank you. Anyone else? If not, thank you all. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Judge, can you, my chief of staff just wanted to make sure she